It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Wednesday, July 3rd, it is Double Impact. I'm your host, Gabe Elton. Guys, it's America's birthday tomorrow. 248 years of uninterrupted greatness. It's going to be awesome tomorrow. I am here with my friend, my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the midnight lover himself, the great Jericho Green. How you doing, friend?
Sweating like a pregnant nun.
Yeah, we're having a heat wave down here in San Diego till Wednesday. It's 76 was the high today.
Ooh.
Que calor, as they say in Espanol.
Ooh. Well, up here it was a little bit warmer than that. It was 109 today. And tomorrow we're looking at 115.
There you go.
I was working out with my daughters. You can see the big old sweat spot I got there. So
nice.
We're doing some boxing. Yeah, man, it's hot as shit today. So
all
look
right.
at you.
Just another day in paradise. Just another day in America's most expensive city to live in.
It is. People just don't know until you're here in California.
Yeah.
But the places that are expensive in California, they are expensive.
Yeah, but I love it. 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 Caliente. Tony says all the way from down under. He's probably laughing.
Down under. Crikey.
That's not hot. This is hot. You know, it's like 5 Julian degrees. Of course, since they're in the southern hemisphere, their seasons are reversed. So they're hitting winter right now, which is really bizarre when you think about it. So their hot time of the year is like December, February. Like our cold winters, their heat. It's reversed. That's so strange.
Yeah, I was in the Persian Gulf, and it's the same thing. Christmas Day, it was like 110.
Yikes.
Very weird.
Yikes. Think about what you think about. Next year around 4th of July, you should do a patriotic movie like The Patriot or St. Right? Yeah, I thought of that in the shower this morning. This was a good, since we're doing Mel Gibson, it would have been a good one to do The Patriot. But we chose what movie we wanted to do at the last minute, like yesterday afternoon, because I wasn't going to do the show today because I have a hard out in less than 2 hours. I got something I'm doing at 8 o'clock, so I got to get out of here in an hour and 45. So we weren't going to do the show. I was like, nah, let's just do it. So then Jericho picked Payback, which is a very interesting movie for me personally. I love Mel Gibson. It's a good movie, but I have my opinions on it because of something else. But before we get into that, let me show you guys this right quick. July 24th, my 46th birthday in 3 weeks. Wednesday, it's going to be a Wednesday 2 weeks from now, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks from now. 3 weeks from now, do some math, Gabe. We're having a party. We're having a shindig. Jericho's going to be there, and some other friends of mine are going to be there. It's going to be at Basic Bar Pizza. That is just steps from the San Diego Convention Center. What was the walk last year, Jericho, when we went to that? Like 5 minutes or?
Yeah, like 5 minutes. And it's a nice walk. I mean, you're downtown, you're seeing all kinds of cool stuff. It's Comic-Con, so there's tons of people around. You don't even notice it. It's just a few minutes. And don't let the name fool you. There's nothing basic about this place. It's really nice, open, it's like one big open room. The bar on one side, you kind of have a lounge area. It's really nice. And
it's awesome.
Pizza is ridiculous.
Delish. So myself and some other YouTuber and entertainment critic kind of people, friends of mine, you may have heard of. Neurotic, Stutter and Craig from Side Scrollers, Alan and Chris from Film Thread, of course, Jericho Green and Quarter Black Garrett, they're going to be there. And then also Alan and Chris will be signing at my booth. So will Stutter and Craig. Jericho's going to be at the booth. And I'm sure Quarter Black Garrett and Gary, Neurotic, will be at my booth autographing. I just don't know when yet. We're setting all that up. So it's going to be an awesome time. I would tell you to go to bigmancomics.com and get yourself a ticket to come to this shindig. But I'd be lying to you if I did, because it's sold out this morning, guys.
Sold out.
Sold out. The venue could hold, I think, like 260. And I didn't put all 260 available because I reserved some for friends and family and stuff like that. So I think I could be able to squeeze out a few more tickets, and maybe I'll make something fun if there's a few more people. I got an email. I got 2 messages today for people saying, oh, dang, I wanted to get a ticket. And they sold out as of last night or this morning. So this is going to be an amazing event. You know, when it sells out, it's going to be packed. It's going to be so much fun. You're going to love it if you show up to that. So absolutely. Please come on down. Big Man Comics is doing a lot of stuff at Comic-Con. I showed Jericho some art that I finished working on about an hour ago.
Yep.
That will be debuting at San Diego Comic-Con for the 4 next books I'm working on, about the next year and a half, 2 years. And you're going to love these things. You're going to be blown away when you see them. So I don't know. What'd you think of the thing I showed you, Jericho?
Oh, it's great, man. There are big things on the horizons for Big Man Comics, and it looks great. I was excited to see it. Even though I knew about him, I was still excited. So you guys got to be there and check this out, and to get your hands on this piece of artwork that he's talking about.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah, and this is a clue of something that I was showing Jericho today. I don't speak Chinese, but I used Twitter's AI and asked it how to write this in Chinese. Then I used Google Translate. Then I asked a friend of mine that actually speaks Chinese, and I asked the public on Twitter, and I got confirmation this does say Hong Kong Connection in Chinese. So this is has something to do with Dean Cain Volume 2 that I was working on today. So,
Hong Kong Connection.
That's right, the Hong Kong Connection. Of course, named after, the French Connection and all that stuff we love. So that's a good segue into Parker. That's what I call it. But in this movie, he's called what? Porter?
Porter, yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, let me show you something before we get to the Mel Gibson movie. But hold on, let me move this. So there's a novelist named Donald Westlake, right? And he wrote these books starting back in the late 50s, all the way up until the late 60s. And then he took a 24-year break. And then back in the 90s or whatever, he wrote a few more. And he ended up writing like 24 or 28 Parker novels. They are my favorite crime novels. I freaking love them. They're so good. Dean Cain All-American Lawman Volume 2 is really based on the concept of Parker's a criminal, but the only people he really kills are other criminals that are trying to steal from him and this and that. And he's always putting a team together to pull off a heist. And it's so good. One of the best comic book artists ever, named Darwin Cook, rest in peace. He died about 10 years ago. He loved these books too. And he translated 4 of them into amazing, let me turn off the green screen, into some of my favorite graphic novels I've ever read. This all has to do with the movie, because this is what the movie is based on, these books. Okay. So my exposure to Parker were these comic books. These are graphic novels by Darwin Cook. He adapted Richard Stark's books into these just amazing comics. And he did them in like a really nice, like 60s kind of style. You know what I mean? These are gorgeous books. Each one is one color. So this book's all blue. This book, I think, is just greenish blue. And then there's one that's orange, but they're just fantastic. They have that flavor of the 50s and the 60s, that whole crime, the noir thing, going down to Miami or Cuba and pulling a bank job and all this stuff. Really, really just awesome books. And these are some of the collected French editions here. These are old painted covers from the 60s of the actual prose novels, the regular novels, not the comic books. And I just love this whole thing here. You know what I mean? What do you think of this? Do you like this genre of story, Jericho?
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, look how cool it is. Look how cool he looks.
Right.
The suit, the cigarette, the dark hair. I mean, yeah, it looks awesome. You got the little femme fatale back there, the lady with the gun. Yeah, it's really cool. all that old stuff, you know, where, you know, kind of the Mad Men, you know, suits and cigarettes and toots, you know, that whole time was awesome. Lee Marvin.
Yeah, so here's Lee Marvin, one of the OG tough guys. And he was in a movie in the late 60s called Point Blank. And it is the first book, where is it? Called The Hunter, right? That's Parker, the Hunter. That was the very first book Richard Stark wrote. And it's confusing. His name is not Richard Stark. His name is Donald Westlake. But since he wrote multiple stories in these pulp magazines back in the 50s, if you wrote more than one story in the magazine, they said, hey, you got to use a different name on your second story. We want people to think there are a lot of authors here. So he wrote the Parker stuff with Richard Stark, and that ended up being his pen name for the Parker books. He used Donald Westlake for other crime books that he wrote and stuff like that.
And anyway, Richard Stark, that's a cool ass name too.
Isn't it? Richard Stark. Right.
Yeah.
So the first book, The Hunter, was turned into this movie with Lee Martin called Point Blank. And for whatever reason, they don't use the Parker name. In this one, he's not Parker and he's not Porter. He's something else. I forgot. I don't know if it's Peterson. I think it's another one with a P. I saw this movie like 2 months ago. I'd never seen it before. But yeah, so this, and then there's a movie called The Outfit, and that is another that's another Richard Stark book, Parker book called The Outfit. It's fantastic. And that's another movie. So there's a lot of adaptations of this stuff into comics, into multiple movies. Jason Statham did one 5 or 10 years ago, I think, with Jennifer Lopez called Parker, and it's the same character. So I say all that to say I absolutely love this stuff. And what I love about it is the 60s aesthetic. I love that 60s aesthetic. And that's what Mel Gibson's movie does not have, which is fine. But one of the main things I love about it is the 60s aesthetic. Mel Gibson's movie is from 1999. It's stylish, it's violent, it's Mel Gibson. So, of course, it's amazing. But to me, it's not Parker, because it's just Parker is the 60s. Now, to be fair, when he came back and started writing Parker again in the 90s, he updated it. It was just, yeah, Parker's the same guy, same age, but for some reason, he's in the 90s. Kind of like how Spider-Man's in the 60s and he's like a teenager. And Spider-Man gets about 25 years old and he stops aging in the comics. So Spider-Man's been 25 for like 40 years. So Parker's the same way, right? He's about a 35, 40-year-old criminal, and he's been that old for decades. So I'll let it go. But I'm just saying, as someone who not grew up, but loves the Parker comic books and novels, I adore these things. I've been going through like one a week for like the last 2 months. I'm just burning through them. The 90s thing is so different. You know what I mean? That whole 90s MTV music video thing, it's kind of the vibe I get from this, and it's just so different. What is your history with this? With Porter, he's not Parker, now he's Porter in this with Mel Gibson.
I saw this when it came out, but maybe they took from the 90s ones that he wrote, you know, after that 24-year break. So maybe that's where they got it from. Maybe they didn't take from the 60s ones that he wrote. But no, I love it. This movie was great. I love the color, that bluish hue that they had throughout the movie, the score, Mel Gibson. Of course, Mel Gibson's fucking great. And if you don't want to smoke cigarettes, then watch this movie and you will, because he makes it look so damn cool.
Right.
This and even the gun, that 44, you know, revolver. It's huge. It's chunky. Yeah, man. Mel Gibson's the man. He did a great job on this movie.
Well, we were talking about the novels last night when we were texting about watching this movie. And I was telling you how groovy these things are. And you told me you'd have to check it out. If you like guns, Jericho, and I know you do.
I do.
You'll love these books, because Donald Westlake, Richard Stark, the author, he must be a gun nerd, or like any great author does his research, because he talks about guns in like detailed, great, just awesome ways. He knows all these obscure kind of guns. And I don't know, Parker's always getting this Tomcat, you know what I mean? 9mm and all these awesome guns. And it's really fun. And he breaks down how crime works, like the nuts and bolts of the actual business of crime. It isn't just bang, 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 give me the money. It's like, no, you make a phone call and you got a handler, and he'll call me and he'll give me the job, and I'll assemble I'll get a driver, I'll get a guy who's muscle, I'll get a guy who's a safe cracker. And it's like they do it just like businessmen, and it's really, really interesting to look at. I love crime. It's one of my favorite genres, and I am going to write crime novels. Actually, you know, I write and draw comic books, but I'm actually going to also just write prose novels, because comic books take too long to make. And I know I could write a crime novel in just a few months, whereas a comic book takes half a year. So let me grab one last thing just to show you my bona fides, my geek cred on this. It's a book I have right here. I heard about it, and like all authors, you got to do your research, right? And I love being a writer. And this is from, I think this is the FBI's manual on crime classification. You can get this on Amazon. And this details dozens and dozens of crimes and the criminals that do them and all the methodology, the psychology, the technique, every last detail about crime, how it works, and how these people think and execute. Now, if you want to write crime and you want to write action, you want to write fiction, get a hold of this thing. Fascinating, man. I have gun manuals. I love doing my research. So yeah, this is right up my alley, this movie, because I love the crime genre. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's great. All the players in it too, and there is a team of sorts, in the beginning,
right,
when they pull off the job and everything, and then it turns into pretty much not only revenge but getting what he deserves.
Right. Well, I love the name of the movie. I'm going to spoil the movie, but sorry, we're going to spoil it tonight anyway. The movie is the name of this is a play on words, because he gets ripped off by his partner, and then he wants to be paid back, right? He wants them to pay him back, but he also wants to kill them for ripping him off, so he's going to give them payback. So it's like a double meaning with the word there. It's fantastic. I cannot recommend the Parker novels enough. If you can't tell, I can't recommend them enough. They're so entertaining,
And they didn't just rip him off. They tried to kill him too as well. And yeah, man, it's like you said with the books, he doesn't just gloss over things. He goes into it in detail, and same with this movie. They don't just rip him off. It shows his recovery, and then pretty much starting from scratch. How do I get these people back, and how do I get my money? And it shows him climbing the ladder.
Mr. E says saving the director's cut this movie for a rainy day. It's supposed to change it all, what it's all about. Yeah, I think because this movie strays from the book a little. It gets the big beats of the story correctly, but it does stray a little. And I heard there's a director's cut, but I just went with the normal one because I was unsure what Jericho had seen when I was on Amazon Prime looking for it last night. I saw both, and I said, I better just watch the regular one because I'm
same here.
Yeah, so I figured that was safe. Have you seen the movie called Monkey Man? I heard it was insane martial arts, but I heard it was woke, so that's a no bueno from me. No thanks.
Damn it.
Yeah, but I heard it's insane martial arts.
Up.
One of the most insane martial arts movies I've ever seen are The Raid and The Raid 2. I don't know how we would ever review
I've seen Raid 2.
I don't know how we'd review them on this channel because they barely have stories. They're like 2-hour fight scenes. They're amazing movies, but the story's very thin. There wouldn't be much to talk about story-wise. And I think still images don't really lend themselves to the amazing martial arts in those movies. Heather says, crime and mystery is my jam. Agatha Christie is the queen. I was blown away the first time I read The Murder on the Orient Express. But you can't read it a second time because the twist in that is insane. I won't say it, Jericho. That's worth reading if you haven't read it. They've made the movie like 10 times. The book's been a bestseller for 100 years or whatever. But if you don't know the twist in Orient Express, go watch the movie or read the book, Jericho. Insane twist in that. It's great.
Yeah, and going back to Raid and Raid 2, like if you had an Apple Watch on, check your blood pressure when you're watching that movie.
Right.
It's intense.
It's like Fury Road, the good Mad Max from 10 years ago. That is a 2-hour chase scene. And you're like, when Fury Road ends, you're like, it's so exciting.
Yeah, your heart rate is definitely up.
Clyde Dashing, what is the best Parker book to start on? Ooh. Let's see. Let me open my list of Parker books. See, I have them right here. And this is, guys, here's what a nerd I am on the Parker books. Look at this. I have a list of the Parker books, and the ones I've been through are red. Okay? So I have a few more to go. I'm currently on Deadly Edge. No, I'm on the Sour Lip. Yeah, I'm on Deadly Edge right now. But my favorite ones I've ever heard, obviously the first one, The Hunter, is amazing. I would start with The Hunter. Now, The Hunter, he doesn't assemble a team. The Hunter is an awesome revenge tale, but the rest of them, he starts assembling a team. And these guys on the team, they have full backstories and full characters. One guy's a really charming ladies' man actor, but I don't know, he's just this suave artist dreamer type, but he's like a deadly criminal too. There's this guy Salsa. He's this amazing Mexican gangster guy. There's a guy Wixa. He's a big semi-professional wrestler on the small wrestling circuits. They hire him to be muscle. There's all these great characters that recur in the books. Some of them die eventually. Some of them don't. But there are guys that come back and forth in the books. He has his lady that he loves. That's an amazing story how he gets it. Let me pull this list over here where I could read it in front of me a little bit better. It's too small. Let's see. What's amazing? I think The Jugger is amazing. The Mourner, The Outfit, The Hunter, Slayground. I mean, they're all, I haven't read a bad one yet. They're insane. They're insane. One of the best ones I read is Firebreak, but that was written like in 2002. So, and it's one of the way later ones. You know what I mean? I mean, he was an old man when he wrote it. That's right here. It's the last red one I read there, Firebreak. Insane book. That's really good, that one. Really exciting. Stealing art from a mansion in the mountains. Insane. Yeah, these I just start with The Hunter. Start with the first one. You'll get to know who Parker is and all that stuff. Kind of sets the stage for some things. And some big criminals in there. They recur way later in the books. And then he quit writing the books on Butcher's Moon. It was like in the 70s. And he didn't come back till after in the 90s. So Butcher's Moon, and then the next one, The Comeback. In real life, there was like a 25-year gap in those, or 23 years. So Butcher's Moon is like twice the length of all the other novels, and so many villains and allies from all the books end up, and that book is so long. I'm in the middle of that one right now. So I have one on audiobook that I listen to while I draw and color comics. Then I have one on my iPad that I'm actually reading, like reading the words instead of listening. So I'm reading Butcher's Moon, and I'm listening to Deadly Edge. That's how much I love this. I'm doing two at once. So Parker, fucking love it, guys. So let's see. We'll stop my commercial for Parker in a minute here. Hey guys,
yeah, brought to you by
Parker. Okay, one more funny thing. So I love heist and crime movies. So I would go back and watch the ones from the 40s and 50s, ones I've never heard of. And I found one called The Killing. And it's some guys rob the money room at the Del Mar racetrack. The Del Mar racetrack is like 10 miles from my house. It's San Diego, one of the most famous horse racing tracks in the world. And this is a movie from the late 40s. And it's so cool. He assembles a team, safecracker, driver, sniper, blah, blah, blah. He's got an inside man working at the inside the racetrack, all this cool stuff. And I'm telling my wife, oh man, what if I did it? What if I did it? Because Del Mar's right by our house. And then they all get arrested or killed by the end of the movie. And I tell my wife, well, I'm not going to do it. I learned my lesson.
Thank you, Parker.
So, yeah, that was an awesome one, though. So, let's see.
Another good robbery movie is The Town.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Affleck and Jeremy Renner. That's a good one, too.
That's a fun one. Think about what you think about. What is the name of the author that wrote Blood Meridian? My favorite book, Blood Meridian. He wrote The Road. He wrote No Country for Old Men. His name is Cormac McCarthy. Rest in peace. He died about a year ago. He was like 85 years old. He's the best writer in the history of this country. His writing is otherworldly. You can't believe it when you read it. It's just insane that the mind this man had. Just insane. You have to read it. I've read every single book of his. I've repeated a couple of them. I love Cormac McCarthy. Just insanely talented writer. His last books were probably some of the deepest metaphysical things I've ever read about the meaning of consciousness and existence and stuff. Just his books are so good. If you've seen The Road with Viggo Mortensen, that was like a 2000 and something movie, or No Country for Old Men won an Oscar. I mean, he's such a great writer. So, let's see. Yeah, Heat by Michael Mann with Val Kilmer and Robert De Niro and Al Pacino.
Yep.
That is a great crime movie. We'll do that one here too. Right.
Yeah, that was a good one. And there was a real life event like that, the North Hollywood bank robberies in '97. Dude. Where the suits just came out of there and just were blasting at the cops.
That was 1996 in North Hollywood, where I've been many a time. North Hollywood sucks. It's in the valley. So you guys know where the Hollywood sign is? That mountain range there. That mountain range is north of Los Angeles, north of Hollywood. If you come to the bottom of that mountain, that's where Hollywood is, at the foot of that mountain. If you go over that mountain, there's this place called The Valley. That's where the Karate Kid lives. That's where so many movies take place, in the Valley. That's where the Valley Girl, like, oh my God, the Valley. The problem with the Valley is it's crowded as hell, because LA is one of the big cities on earth, but it's hot. And if you know me, I don't like the heat. The Valley is terrible. When DC Comics folded the office here in San Diego, moved everything up to Burbank, that's where I would have had to live. So I chose to go freelance in 2011. So yeah, you couldn't pay me to live in the Valley, dude. No way. So
yeah, it's hot. I've been there before, but man, you're right. A lot of those 80s movies took place in the Valley.
Yeah. None of mine just says watch Manhunter by Michael Mann. It's the original Hannibal Lecter movie. You know, I almost watched that the other night. It's worth watching because I don't like horror movies, but I think Silence of the Lambs straddles the line between horror and thriller, like detective thriller.
Oh yeah.
And I like Silence of the Lambs. It's a little grotesque, but the mystery detective aspects are amazing in that. And we have every family, Jericho, has your running jokes. So your one-liners that you say to each other.
Mm-hmm.
When the detective, Jodie Foster, comes to Buffalo Bill's house looking for the girls, she describes him. He's like, no, I've never seen her, don't know. And he's the killer, like he has her, like he killed her or whatever, the one he has in the basement or the downstairs. And then he comes back to the door and he says, hang on, I got to do the accent perfectly. Oh, wait, is she a great big fat person? You know what I mean? So that, me and my wife, my 2 kids, we always say that to each other. Oh, wait, is she a great big fat person? Because it's really funny.
So when he tucks his dick and said, "Hard fucker," I was
Right.
like, "Whoa, this guy is crazy."
None of the Miser, I saw Red Dragon, didn't like it. Too gross.
That's the one with Ed Norton, right?
I think so. Ed Norton and is it Rafe Fiennes or something like that?
I don't think I've seen Red Dragon.
I think I saw that. Yeah, I don't know.
Hannibal, I saw that one. That was crazy.
Think about what I was wishing you a happy disability month, Jericho.
Thank you. I'm not disabled, but thank you very much for sharing. And it is actually National Disability Pride Month.
Oh, okay. Heather says she likes the Marple series. That's more, I think that's an English detective series. A Murder's Announced is one of my favorite. Murder on the Orient Express is part of the Hercule Poirot. That's Hercule Poirot is he's the French detective. Hercules Poirot, we would say in English, but in French it'd be Hercule Poirot. Kenneth Branagh has made 2 movies with him lately, and he has this insane mustache because in the book he's supposed to, but the mustache he has in the movie, he actually has this little plastic thing he puts over it for when he sleeps, so his mustache doesn't get messed up. So I'll find a picture of it, and then we'll get to the thing.
So French I know.
Let's see. Yeah. Here he is. So here's Kenneth Branagh as Hercule Poirot, and here's the mustache protector. Literally, when I was watching Murder on the Orient Express, he sleeps with that thing on.
Well, you put a lot into that mustache. You don't want that shit flopping or
that's quite a mustache.
Increased or something. Yeah, you gotta fucking work for that.
Can you say Hercule Poirot? Can you say that?
Hercule Poirot.
Right.
Or ha ha ha. That's
we can just call him Hercules Poirot. That's
oui. Hercules Parrot.
Right.
Parrot. Ross Parrot.
Oh, well, maybe Kenneth Branagh is Danish. I'm saying is Hercule Poirot is Danish in the books with a name like Hercule Poirot? Really? Oh, I stand corrected. I had no idea. I'm not a huge reader of those. I've Murder on the Orient Express, and then I think it's Death on the Nile. Those are fantastic, but I don't think any of her other stuff I'm familiar with too much. So,
does he wear those stupid wooden shoes?
He's Belgian. You know, I think I heard that somewhere. But remember, Belgium is next door to France, and they speak French in Belgium.
Same thing.
So it's France. But don't tell Belgian people that; they'll get mad.
Yeah, they won't give us any waffles.
Right. Well, remember, French fries are Belgian, and you know what they call them in French? Pommes frites. That's right.
Yeah.
Fried potatoes.
Pommes frites. Now I go freedom fries, man.
That's right. I don't know what the hell you do with pommes frites.
Remember after 9/11, people call them freedom fries.
That's so embarrassing, dude.
9/11. Yeah, shit was like the next month or two after 9/11 was a great time to be an American, as strange as that may sound.
And I'm proud to be an American where I eat freedom fries.
Yep.
Oh, that reminds me, we've got a special caller calling in today. The great sponsor of the show wanted to talk to us about the holiday coming up, and then we'll finally get to the movie.
Oh, will we?
We might. I mean, I'm out of here at 8 Pacific, so I'm out of here in an hour and like less than an hour and a half.
24 minutes. Yeah.
We're gonna do a Jericho auctioneer speed read this movie. Sold. I'm gonna turn it over to you, but first of all, welcome in the Hulkster.
Hey, brother.
Hey, so we were talking about 9/11, sad time for this country, and we know that you're a real American. You fight for what's right. And Did you ever have to rename any of the food at Pastamania after 9/11 to make it more patriotic and squelch any people who were talking down on our great country?
Well, brother, I didn't do that, but I made everything red, white, and blue, brother. And
Really?
anybody who looked, they were from that part of the world, brother, didn't get served here, brother.
No, wait a minute. Now, Hulkster, I love you, and you pay a lot of money to be my sponsor. Now, I'm from here, but I look like I'm from over there. Now, you tell me the truth, brother. Would you have let me in your restaurant after 9/11?
Oh, hell yeah, brother. Long as you didn't have anything weird on your head, brother.
Weird, like what? Like a Dallas Cowboys hat?
No, I said weird, not disgusting, brother.
Oh my goodness. So was it hard time? Did you find the pasta, the rigatoni, the fettuccine, the farfalle, the orecchiette? Did you find those comforted Americans after 9/11 in their time of emotional need?
I did, brother. Nothing brings people together, brother, like a nice warm bowl of pasta, brother, and a nice red gravy, little grated cheese on top, brother. We can put all our differences aside and just get that big waistband, brother.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. What are your plans for tomorrow? What are your plans for the 4th?
Well, every year I dye my pubic hairs red, white, and blue, brother. I ride that red and yellow Harley, brother. Nothing on the bottom to show off my handiwork, brother.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's disturbing, but,
Thank you, brother.
You celebrate your way. I'll celebrate mine. I'm going to barbecue with my family. A little more wholesome.
I do that eventually, brother. That's how I celebrate on my own. And then I get Bobby the Brain Heenan and I stick a sparkler up his ass, brother. That's how I light my fireworks, brother.
Now, I'll let you go on this, but I had to get to the bottom of this. I've read a lot of internet rumors on the wrestling forums and all that. Iron Sheik, you and him had a problem on the 4th of July back in 1988, and you guys worked it out since. But do you want to tell me what happened there when he slipped up and kind of insulted your patriotism?
Well, first of all, brother, all right. R.I.P., brother, to the Iron Sheik. He's no longer with us, brother. But I tell you one thing, I take my patriotism very serious, brother. I went to his house. I knocked on his front door, brother, and we worked it out in the front yard. I was pissed off, brother.
Wow.
First, brother, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and love your country, brother.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you guys worked it out. I think a lot of those things he said are just, it's part of the act. Not that wrestling's fake. It's just part of the act when he's entertaining. Just the speech part.
Yeah, I miss him, brother. I miss him, brother.
We all do. All right. We'll have a great 4th. And is there anything you want to say before you get out of here?
America, brother.
America indeed. The Hulkster, everyone. There he goes.
Good dude, man. Good dude. I don't know if I want any other sponsors. I like him.
That's right. Captain Ritter said he went to Pastamania and had some great shrimp Alfredo pasta. Had to get 2 because he couldn't get enough.
Hey, Hulkster, thanks you, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Appreciate the patronage.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have asked him about the Iron Sheik. He got choked up there, man.
And that's hard to do.
Yeah.
That's hard to do, but that just shows what good friends they were and how that really, that got personal. He went to his house. Hulkster usually doesn't do that. He keeps it professional, but he went and confronted him at his home with his weird curly shoes. And I'm glad they hashed it out, man.
I think that's the hardest part of conflict with others is like humbling yourself, swallowing your pride, and like learning to forgive people. And that's what this movie is exactly not about.
No forgiveness.
Exactly the reverse message of this movie.
Yes, I took my forgiveness meter, I waved it over this movie, and there was 0 reading, no forgiveness. It starts out with a very unsanitary way of doing surgery. I know we got any doctors out there, just getting out of their residency, any surgeons. But what you don't want to do is take a glass, pour whiskey in it, drink it, and then pour more whiskey in it, and then put a pair of scissors in there to get sterilized.
Right.
I'm not a doctor. I don't know if you guys can see. I don't have a white coat on, but don't do that. But this part's cool because he's going to that, like in John Wick, that doctor, like maybe he got disbarred because he, killed a patient or something. He's a doctor. He has the skill set, but he works for the bad guys. Exactly. Batman 89, Joker surgeon, same thing.
Right. So he's one of those doctors outside the law. So yeah, it starts off, this doctor's performing some surgery on Porter, I'm gonna flip up and call him Parker later. Porter pulling bullets out of him,
out of his back, and he's laying down. He's just like laying on a table, bloodied, beaten, and shot in his back. And this is the second time Mel Gibson's been shot in his back in a movie, by the way.
Right. And some of those little scalpels and probes, like Jericho said, he's dunking them in the whiskey to disinfect them. I feel like that's not how you're supposed to do that.
I don't know if they do that in the hospital, but you can see the go back one. You can see the glass right there, with the tools in it, and then he takes then the classic action movie trope. He takes the bullet out and then drops it in the liquid. You can see like the blood get washed off the bullet and stuff. You can see the projectile pulled out of his back. He's having a tough day.
Right. Now, as a writer, this is how you start movies. I always start my stories with an action scene, and this is an action scene, even though it's surgery and there's not two people fighting. You always want to start in the middle of action, because psychologically, what that does to the reader or the movie viewer, what it does to them is it just says, this is true. This is just what's happening. You know, I love the start of Ghostbusters. They're busting ghosts, and they've been doing it for a while already.
Yeah, in the hotel.
And they're just like, hey, audience, this is real. This is happening. And this is how you start a story. You just Dean Cain, All-American Lawman, all the books I write, they just start in the middle of action, because we're just establishing to the reader, this is true. This is this universe. This is what it's like. You know what I mean? So it's a great start.
And again, John Wick, the first one, it starts with him crashing his vehicle and being all beat up and shot and stuff. So your mind will just fill in. Oh, don't worry. Your subconscious, like, I'll take care of this. I'll fill in all the blanks.
Right.
And what a great way. I love when movies start in the middle of something.
Right. And again, that goes to that thing. And I won't harp on the writing lesson too much, but the death of writing is wokeness. The second death is tell, don't show. You want to show, not tell.
I hate when they tell.
You know, you don't want to just tell people. You want to just show them by, hey, this is just happening. This is how it is. And it immerses the reader and the viewer right in there. So
when they tell instead of show, that's like somebody's driving and you just reach over and pull the e-brake. You just bring everything to a screeching halt. Oh, why'd you do that? Now you think it's stupid. And you just messed up the whole thing that the viewer had going.
Right. So Porter's been shot in the back. He has the mafia surgeon pulling bullets out of him. So we're like, why? What's going on? And then we see him. He's out and he's got to figure something out. So we get this great montage where he steals a car, he steals a wallet. He's committing all these small crimes to create a new identity. He steals some money. He goes to a pawn shop. I think he sells some watches that he steals to get some more money.
He bumps into a guy. He picks out a guy, Mark, bumps into him, picks his pocket. The guy's like a rich Wall Street dude. So he goes and gets a meal. He goes and buys a few suits. He buys some watches, and he takes the watches to the pawn shop, and then uses and trades in the watches to get a gun, a big old 44 Magnum that probably weighs, fucking 3 pounds. Right. And then he walks past a homeless dude on the street. Hey man, help a veteran walk again, man. I'm paralyzed. So he reaches in his thing and takes the dollar bills out, and the guy stands up. Hey, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, I healed a man and made him walk again. He chokes him and he fucking shoves. He's like, get the fuck out of here, you fraud. Right. Takes some of his money, and then that's how he pays for the coffee in the shop in that last scene with that lady. But again, he's smoking the cigarette. He just makes it look so fucking cool. He's just, now I'm back. And he even says, it's been 5 months. Now I'm back on my feet, and he's telling a story, kind of being the narrator. Fucking Mel Gibson, man. National treasure. When he dies, put him in the Smithsonian.
Well, he's in his early 60s, and he's not a fat guy. So I think, God willing, he's got a lot of time left, So we'll see.
Fucking great guy.
But one thing this movie does capture that the books have, that is one of my favorite parts of the books, is the character, the personality of Parker. He's a force of nature. He is dangerous. He is brutal, and he is masculinity in overdrive. Mm-hmm. He just does what he wants, takes what he wants. He has his code of honor, but he is selfish. Like, nah, I'll do what's right, but I'll do what's right for me. You know what I mean? So,
but he's like the kind of guy, if you're another bad guy, he'll blow your head in half, won't think twice. But if you're a little kid and you're sad, you dropped your ice cream, he'll fucking buy you another ice cream. Right. So he's a good dude. In this part, he's telling guys like, sir, I ran your credit card twice and it's coming up declined. And this is after, and that scene opens on a T-bone that's already been eaten. The plate's empty, a little blood. He has a medium rare. And he takes a drag from a cigarette and goes, run it again. And then when the guy goes to run the credit card the third time, he's out. So he's like a petty criminal at this point. But it's showing him he's 5 months later, he's had surgery, he's rehabilitated, and he's starting from the bottom. I take this guy's wallet, I get this, now I get that, now I get the suits, now boom, and he's just going up the ladder and just going through the process of getting back to where he can get his money and his payback.
Now, yeah. So why is he building himself back up? Well, he makes a stop at an apartment where he meets a lady. Well, he's not meeting for the first time. This is his wife,
his woman. He sees her stumbling home. She drops her keys. She's all fucked up on heroin. And that part where she's falling, she went and opened her door, and he like pushed her door open and knocked her up against the wall and shit.
Right.
And the next scene there, he's trying to get her clean. He takes her needles and fucking, gets rid of it. But then you see she has another needle in the bottom of her. She has like secret compartment in the bottom of her shoe, a true junkie. And she has a whole kit, the needle, the heroin, the thing to tie off her vein and everything. And so he leaves her in the room. They fall asleep. The next morning he comes in, and then he sees that she found it and put another needle in her arm. She's not dead. She's not dead yet. He lays down there with her. She wakes up. She goes, you're not going to kill me, are you? And you're like, what? Why would he kill his wife? And then the next scene, and then when he sees that she stuck that needle in her arm again, like, he's back. I'm trying to get you clean. But, in true junkie fashion, it doesn't matter. You could do the greatest thing for them. You could do the kindest thing for them, most kind thing for them. You could sacrifice for them. You could give them the world. But if they're not ready to quit, they're going to get right back on that shit. That's exactly what she did. So he took the wedding ring and he nailed the wedding ring to the wall with the needle that he took out of her arm. Like, fuck you. It's over.
I think, I know for men, one of the most important values we have in our relationships with everyone, our men, our brotherhoods, and our women, our wives, and our girlfriends, is loyalty. I think to men, few things are more treacherous than betrayal. I think of the laws in our country. Like, we'll jail all kinds of perverts and weirdos and monsters. We'll jail them, but we hang traitors. Think about that. We execute traitors, because in masculinity, it's like, you don't betray me, because this whole thing can't work if I can't trust you. You know what I mean? Masculinity is built on resilience and trust. I will do everything I need to do, sacrifice myself, whatever. I have to know when I look to my side at Jericho, I don't have to watch him. I have to know he's going to do what he said. I have to know that. I have to believe it. And as a married man, as a husband, I have to know my wife is doing the right thing. I have to. If you can't trust people, then it's over. And
there's nothing. And if you're in like a war situation or some kind of battle, and your buddy turns you in or lets the bad guys know where you are, he betrays you, you're going to hate him more than the enemy who's about to torture you or whatever. That's what's going to get you through that torture, is your newfound hatred for the man who betrayed you.
Because at least your enemy in the other army was defending his nation. He was fighting for his nation, right or wrong. He was being a patriot for his side. You were being one for yours. But your buddy, oh man, unacceptable. Your wife,
scumbag. Oh, and what would get me is if in another dimension, if this were to happen to me. But for my wife, I'm here, like, I would feel like such a fool. I'm being a husband. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And just being fooled. I'm thinking everything's cool, and you're off blowing some other dude or something. Oh, the deception.
I've seen some stuff. I will not say names because I don't want to be some gossip, but I've seen people straight up steal other people's families. Like, man or woman, I won't say, stole the other person's man or woman and the children and everything. I've seen that happen, dude. Like, are you kidding me, bro?
Somebody's got
and the worst one is this: when the cheater, man or woman, is cheating with a brother or sister or a friend or whatever. Like, at least let it be a stranger.
And you're like, smiling in my face.
There's like Jericho. There are 4 billion women on Earth. Well, adult women less, but there are billions. You got to do your sister, your wife's sister, really? Her best friend, really, dude?
We're at Thanksgiving
and doing billion other women. There were a billion other women. That's what you did.
And we're at family functions and shit, and you're smiling in my face, taking pictures.
Insane.
And watching my kids.
Insane, dude. Insane.
Pay back.
Right.
Woo.
Right. Oh, here. Yeah. See, Heather says, or the nanny. Don't ask Arnold about that.
Oh,
yeah.
Look, don't leave your nanny around him. If she's,
you know who Albert?
He's 5'2". Watch out.
You know the comedian Albert Brooks, comedian and actor.
Oh yeah.
He had the funniest joke about Arnold. Someone he was talking to, I don't think it was Adam Carolla show or someone is like, yeah, but did you see that nanny? I mean, she was not good looking. And then Albert Brooks goes, your dick doesn't have eyes.
It does not. It is blind and loves it.
Oh, jeez.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow. So
I feel like if it did have eyes, it would just put a blindfold over him anyway, you know?
It would gouge out its own eyes. It doesn't need them. It doesn't care. It's like a remember that scene from Terminator? It does not have pity or remorse or fear, and it will stop ever until you are dead. That's your dick. Your dick is a fucking blind Terminator, and it does not care. It will not care. Even if you told it to care, it would not care.
So here's why his wife, who's currently alive, is wondering if he's going to kill her. Because A, he's a dangerous criminal who does kill people who do bad things. And they flash back to before he got the bullets in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Val are doing a heist. They're going to rob these Chinese triad guys who are doing a money exchange. It's different in the book, but it's the same concept. They rob some guys. They get like 140. I don't know. They get a certain amount of money. And
130 grand.
Okay, so Parker's half is his half, and Val's half is his half. That's the deal. That's how these scores always work. Now I'm talking like a gangster because I read these books. That's how the score works, Jericho.
Yeah.
You don't love these books. We check them out there. So anyway, they get the money. They kill the Chinese triad guys. They get the money, and the wife is there too. She's helping out on this score a little bit.
Well, I don't think the Chinese guys aren't dead. They're just beat up. Because remember, Val Resnick, he's like punching them and like kicking them and shit because he's all pissed off at him for some reason. So I don't think they're dead. I think he just beat the shit out of them.
Well, they're dead or sleeping. They look sleepy then.
Well, they might be. No, they think, yeah, you're right. They're dead because they fucked that car up. Because what they do is they're going down an alley and they get it looked like a 72 Nova or something. And they're speeding down the alley going toward a head-on collision with those guys. And you see Mel Gibson put in a mouthpiece, like a mouth guard, like we play football and shit. And Val Resnick, he doesn't have one. He looks over at me so he covers his mouth with his hand for the impact. So they boom hit these dudes head on, and the Chinese dudes are all fucked up. No, I'm gonna say they're not dead because the guy's like, and he had the briefcase handcuffed to his wrist, and so he had some bolt cutters. He cuts it free from his wrist, and then he starts like kicking him and shit in the face and punching him. So I don't think the dudes are dead, but you can tell right off the bat that. And great story writing showing you that Val Resnick, yes, he's Porter's partner and shit, but he's a piece of shit. Like, you didn't need to kick the guys and beat the shit out of them when they were, already.
He is. This is gross, but I'm gonna say it anyway. This is the kind of piece of shit he is. One time when I was a kid, I was at the San Diego International Airport. It's Lindbergh Field, or it was called that. And I went to the bathroom, and someone had gone to the bathroom, and it was in there. But it looked like about 2 or 3 other people had also gone to the bathroom in the same stall. And I'm wondering, who were the second and third and fourth person that were okay with this? And I was like 12 when this happened. And it didn't traumatize me, but I just will always wonder, who saw that and said, hey, you know what? Me too.
Yeah, they want to see how far it could go.
This is who Val Resnick is, if you're wondering.
Yeah. Val Resnick's the kind of guy who would throw trash out of his window when he's driving. He would like shit on the side of the toilet. Just a piece of shit. And
Heather has something disturbing here. She says there's a lot of swapping that happens in her town, and cheating is standard for the size of the town. It puts Vegas to shame. That's freaky deaky. Heather, I read about a community in Florida called something, or I don't know what it's called, but Disney World built it. There were homes there, and you could go live at Disney World, and there's whole neighborhoods there. And now Disney World doesn't own it, but they're like master planned retiree communities there. I don't know if you have to be 55 or older, but they said that place, so it's all husband and wives living in this thing. Everyone drives golf carts around instead of cars, and it's just vacation 24/7. These people don't have jobs. They just have money, and they live in Florida there. And I read that place has more STDs than anywhere. That those people are all just fooling around together.
Popping fucking Viagra and just
disgusting, dude.
Yeah, I have a friend, a friend of ours. She works in a nursing home, and STDs and promiscuous sex is very prevalent.
Yikes!
Oh, Lake Havasu, that's where damn spring break is. There's probably STDs in the water.
That's another like retiree boomer place too, Lake Havasu. You know the London Bridge is there?
As
The
in
London
song
Bridge. The London Bridge from London is there.
is falling down. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, this Heather. I remember you, Heather. Yeah, yeah. You beat Chet. His ass never showed up. I sent her some merch. Okay, cool. I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, Captain Haruno. I did not know about the up-down pineapple shirts. That's what swingers wear. That's like their code symbol.
Mm-hmm.
I went on a cruise 2 years ago with my wife down the Mexican Riviera from LA to where did we go? Cabo San Lucas, and then we went to Puerto Vallarta, then we went to Mazatlan. And someone was trying to pick up my wife and me by the back pool. I was lifting weights. They have an awesome gym on the Carnival cruise ship. So I lifted weights all 4 days that I usually lift weights that week. I said, and my wife said, I'm going to go read a book on the back deck. It's nice and quiet and all that. I go back there. There's like 20 people sitting on lounge chairs. And this large woman was talking to my wife. And I just show up from my workout and I start reading a book on my phone or whatever. And they're just talking and talking and talking. I think I told you this story before. And the lady tells my wife, oh, yeah, me and my husband, this and that. And we're from Oklahoma and this and that. And as a prank, I bought my husband like a swinger T-shirt. I guess the symbols are flamingos and pineapples. So, yeah, I bought him one with all flamingos or pineapples all over it. So people would ask him if he's a swinger just to prank my husband. And I'm like, just a prank, huh? Is what I'm thinking. I'm just eavesdropping on this conversation between my wife and her. My poor wife, she's such an innocent, pure person. She's just not a bad person at all. She's just
a filthy mind like everybody.
She's just having a carefree conversation with this lady. And like they're talking for like 45 minutes. And about the third time this fucking lady brings up the pineapples and the flamingos again, I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? So I get my wife, I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's shower up and go have dinner or whatever. I tell my wife, you know, that lady was trying to pick us up, right? She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, the third time someone tells you they're not a swinger means that's all they do.
Yeah.
You know, if I tell you 500 times that I'm not that Jericho, that means that's all I do.
Yeah, you're trying to say, hey, what happens on the Carnival cruise is going to require penicillin when you get home. Wait, what did you say? Something.
I don't know if the flamingos are a swinging thing too, Captain Rule, but that's what she said. This nurse lady, a big gal. She told my wife, yeah, I got him some shorts and a shirt that had the flamingos all over them. And I guess that's what that means. I know the pineapple, that's been confirmed, but I don't know. An upside down pineapple. If you see
are there happy swingers?
Run. No.
Are there happy swingers?
Are there attractive swingers?
But I mean, do you have like a really good relationship, but you guys just like to swing? Is that possible? Is that possible to share your toys, so to speak? Is it possible to swap and have some dude blowing your wife's back out? Like,
no, you got even mind.
But I mean, are you really?
I love you, buddy, but I wouldn't let you drive my truck. You understand what I'm saying?
But are there happy swingers, or are you guys just like, look, fuck it, we're just going to do this and remain together for kids or whatever reason or for financial reasons? Or are there really happy swingers with a great relationship, but you just like to swing?
You know what? I no longer care. I don't want anything to do with these people. Sorry.
Careful. We'll watch those cruises.
The cruise was awesome.
They're hunting. That might be their hunting ground.
The cruise is awesome. I heard they put so people decorate their doors on the cruise ship. They'll put like, you know, the Johnson family first cruise, and they'll hang a leg and some stickers or whatever. I heard people put pineapples on their door. Open for business is what that means. Can you imagine if you were in Hawaii on vacation where the Dole pineapple, like, you know, farming is there, and you had some pineapple memorabilia because you wanted to remember your trip to Hawaii, and then other people, like, you didn't know about the weirdo thing, the swinger thing. Can you imagine if you put pineapples, like you put a pineapple sticker on your car or whatever, like you thought it was Hawaii, it's fun.
But it has to be upside down.
It's got to be upside down.
Okay. Got to be upside down. So be very careful how you put your pineapple stickers up, or you might be sending a clear message to the perverts.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so you have dinner every night. You pick a time. If you don't want to go to one of the fancy restaurants, they have a big like white tablecloth dining. You can order what you want. And you're seated and you just sit next to other people on the cruise ship. And one night, some like yokels were sitting next to us. Like they were deep south or something like that, I think. And the lady had the most insane staring problem I've ever seen. This big, fat white woman with like gray stringy hair. I can't forget it. These bug eyes. And she was just staring at me and my wife when we were eating and talking, just staring for minutes on end. Finally, my wife just turns and just stares at her and then she like looked down and didn't stare at us anymore. But she'd been staring at us for a good 10 minutes. I don't know.
Maybe she never saw people of color.
Takes all kinds. Anyway.
It does. Wait, so on a cruise ship, everything paid for? I would imagine, right?
Yes, but now you could do bonus things like you could buy alcohol for the whole trip. It's a couple $100, I think. Like, hey, all your booze is free, and you have like a credit card thing, like an ID with your face, like a picture on it and everything, and that's how you get in and out of everywhere and do everything. And you have a credit card attached to it to buy like drinks that are not covered. There are fancy restaurants you can go to and buy dinner, and then there's tons of free restaurants on the ship that are actually pretty decent. You know what I mean? There's a whole giant galley downstairs with like hundreds of cooks and chefs making the food every day. But the fancy restaurants you can go to for dinner at night, they're open, at least on the Carnival cruise. They were open during the day and they were free during the day with a more limited menu, but still the same kind of food. So it was interesting. You could eat the same kind of food for lunch. It was less and it was a little different, but it was basically the same. And at night, it was like, a waiter and it was fine dining. We did those a couple nights. It was for our anniversary and stuff. So I highly recommend the cruise. I did not want to go. It sounded like the most boring thing in the world, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So, yeah. Let's see. No shot. I ate fish on the cruise. Nope. I don't eat seafood. No, thank you. Gross.
Missing out.
Gross.
Missing out.
Gross. I'd rather. What would I rather do than eat fish? I don't know. I'd rather watch Disney Star Wars than eat fish.
Like Keith David said, I'd rather eat cat shit with a knit needle.
So anyway, I don't know how we're going to finish this in less than an hour because I have to go in an hour.
Watch this.
Okay, so Val Resnick and the wife and Porter, not Parker, they pull off a heist and they go to split the money, and then his own effing wife shoots him so she can escape with Val. Crazy.
Well, Val tells him, he says, he's all acting like he's pissed off. He's all, damn it. He's all fucking slopes that they usually have more money. It's only 140,000 here. Son of a bitch. Blah, blah, blah. And he's acting all mad. And then the wife shoots him in the back. And he's right there. He's showing him a picture of him and this prostitute that he used to drive for and like be protection for her. And he says, yeah, wives can get like that, especially with girlfriends. So he's basically telling him the reason she agreed to do this is because she thought you were cheating on her with this fucking chick. When they
right,
look very similar, by the way.
He wasn't. He just got photos that framed it that way.
Yeah, there was
That's
a photo of them together.
No, baby, it's not what it looks like.
Yeah, it just framed that way. But it's a picture of them. She's like behind him, leaning on his shoulder, laughing. So yeah, I would think if I saw a picture of my wife with some motherfucker like that, yeah, she has to explaining to Lucy. But he's telling him basically
leaning on some guy with a pineapple shirt laughing.
Yeah, fucking laughing. What the fuck you laughing at?
What's so funny?
Yeah, what the fuck's so funny?
You know,
so he's basically telling him she did that because she thought you cheated.
Right. Yeah. Complete lie. So Val is a piece of dookie. You know what makes me like get the booty clinch when you see it on social media, Twitter, Instagram, whatever? When a husband, wife, whatever, when a significant other rolls up to the Buffalo Wild Wings and their wife is eating with the other dude or their husband's eating with the girlfriend or whatever. Hi. Who's this? This Cheryl, this is my friend Cheryl. Just starts throwing the wings and the drinks and everyone in the restaurant. Dude. I'm so glad I haven't. No, I did see a cheating thing go down in real life, and I almost got clocked in the head with a suitcase. So, 2008, I'm leaving my apartment to go buy a washing machine with my wife and my two children who were small at the time. This is 16, 17 years ago. And this lady screaming in Catalonian Spanish, not Mexican Spanish, but Barcelona, that whole thing from Spain, screaming in Spanish, throws a suitcase from the second story apartment. I lived in an apartment, and it misses my head by like an inch or two, lands on the ground. I look up, just going crazy. I guess her boyfriend had gotten back into cocaine. And he promised he wouldn't be into cocaine. And, this is why they left Spain and came to America. So he wouldn't know druggies and been here 5 minutes. Here. And he's all back in. It's like, lady, you moved closer to South America.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody knows there's no coke in America.
Yeah, you might as well have moved to Colombia, lady.
Yeah. You might as well move to Medellin, whatever. You might as well move there.
Jeez. I can't believe we moved all the way to Medellin and now you're doing this shit again.
No, babe, we'll move to America. I won't do any more coke.
Right. And she was like supporting him, and he was like a no good, didn't have a job. And he's just doing that Bolivian marching powder. And she almost hit me in the head with the suitcase when she threw it at him from the second floor. Oh man, that would have hurt. And then my wife and her became very, very good friends. I became friends with her too. She would drive my kids to school. We would take her kids to school sometimes. But that was our good buddy from España. She was a firecracker, that lady.
Yes, España.
I remember we went to Basic, the pizza place, and I ordered like 4 pizzas. It was me, Merlin, and my wife, and some other girls, like 8 of us. I ordered like 4 big pizzas. I turn back around, and like one of the pizzas is almost gone after like 3 minutes. And I look at her, I won't say her name, and she's like, like eating, and I'm like, did you eat like that whole pizza? And she's like, I smoked the weed.
She had the munchies.
I guess.
Irie. Yeah,
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
see.
you know, it did go to waste. You know.
Florida, Gabe, you misspoke last year and said Louisiana, which I enjoy, but I'm in Florida, which is way better. How dare I say you're from Louisiana?
Yeah. Pablo, honey, please come back to Florida.
Okay,
Pablo.
we have less than an hour.
We're 2 minutes in.
Right. Yeah.
Let's hit the gas.
Okay.
So this little fucking prick right here, he looks like somebody who's actually want to kick. So she gets a hold of some more heroin, another stash that she had, ends up ODing. So he hears the doorbell ring. He looks through the peephole and sees this little freak. He's like, Miss Porter, are you there? Come on, Miss Porter. I don't have all day. He's like knocking on the door. It's a heroin deal. And so he opens the door and he looks surprised, like, oh, is Miss Porter here? He goes, Mrs. Porter. Oh, who are you? I'm her husband. And he's like, well, he makes some smart remark like, well, I got business to take care of. Tell her to come out here. And so he goes, what are you here for? And he's like, he doesn't want to tell him, but he's like, here to sell her heroin. So she just OD'd off heroin. Now this little smart mouth heroin dealer shows up. What do you think is going to happen to him? He's going to get his fucking ass whooped. So he grabs him by his head and pulls him in. He fucking hits his face on the wall, and he pushes him up against the wall. You know, like a cop is going to search him, and he reaches in his pocket and finds all heroin. He goes, what's this? And he goes, kiss my ass. Or like, what do you think it is? It makes some smart remark. And dude, he gives him a 4-piece in his fucking kidneys, dude. Boom, 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 boom. Hits him 4 times in his kidneys and drops him. And so he gets up and he turns around and he makes another smart remark. He's like, who'd you get this from? I'm not telling you shit. And so he reaches and he yanks his fucking nose ring out. He's like, oh, that's what he's doing right there, looking at his hands like with the blood shit. He fucks this kid up bad. Yeah. And you see on his arm, it zooms in, you see he has a U.S. Marine. He's a USMC tattoo. So, you know, this guy's probably war hero, probably went to Nam and shit like that. So, you know, Porter's a badass for sure. And he pieces this kid up, man. He fucking hits him in his kidneys. There was definitely blood in his urine. And so he tells him, Stegman, that's his boss. So this is where he starts climbing the ladder. He starts with the little fish to get to the big fish. So he tells him, Stegman, Arthur Stegman, that's where I got it from. So he shows up at Stegman's place, and there's this big black dude who's like the muscle. He's at the front desk. And he goes, hey, I'm here to see Stegman. And he goes, go fuck yourself. And he keeps reading his paper. That's how old this movie is. This guy's reading the paper.
Right.
And he goes back to reading his paper. Or no, he says something. He's like, Stegman's not here. And he goes back to reading his paper, and then he pulls the guy's paper down so you can see his face, and he says, go get him. The guy says, go fuck yourself. And then Mel Gibson makes a look at his expression on his face like, oh, here we go again. So instead, this is cool too, good writing. So instead of showing him kick this dude's ass, it cuts to the guy opening the door, and he's standing in the doorway, and he's holding his ear. There's blood coming from his ear. Right. And he goes, and Arthur Stegman goes, what the hell do you want? He's all, there's a guy here to see you. And the guy's so big, he steps to the side, and Mel Gibson is standing behind him. But the guy's so fucking huge, you couldn't even see him. And so he goes, hey, your boy didn't make his delivery. And he throws 4 balls of black tar heroin on this table. The guys are in there gambling. And he throws it right on the table in front of them. They go, oh, Arthur, what's this? Looks like heroin. And he sees the guy beat up, and the first guy on the left, and that's Bill Duke, by the way.
Bill Duke from Predator.
I'll get you. And he pulls his jacket back, and you see his badge. He's all, looks like assault. And the other cop pulls his jacket back. And he goes, yeah, he looks like the kind of guy who might want to resist arrest. And Stegman's like, hey, don't worry about it, guys. Keep playing. Yeah, don't worry about that. And heroin, he goes, it's heroin. And the classic takes a pocket knife out, gets a little bit on the end of the knife, tastes it. Oh, yeah, it's heroin. So he takes him outside, and he's like,
how does that work in movies where a cop will just take a little dip from a knife of heroin or cocaine, and he's fine. Yeah, he doesn't fall asleep from the heroin. He doesn't get all whacked out from the coke. He's just like, yeah, I'm still fine.
Well, I think it takes more. If you take a little tiny bit of coke, because what they're doing, they're seeing if it makes their tongue numb. And if it
I've
does,
never
you know
done
it's
it.
coke.
I don't know how much you need, but I don't imagine you need that much. I don't
Well,
know.
I've never done heroin, but coke, it takes a little more than just a little tiny. You're not going to get all zooted off of that. But they're doing it to see if it makes their tongue numb, and they know it's coke. So he takes them outside, and he's like, "What the fuck's
And
going
this,
on?"
by the way, this is Stegman. He's the heroin guy. And
Yeah,
these
it's
two
Arthur
guys,
Stegman.
just because I'm going kind of faster, these two guys are Hicks and Tracy, I believe, and they are crooked ass cops.
Yeah,
That
bad
gamble and probably prostitute stuff and hang around drug dealers and their friends. They're
Yeah, they
very
extort him
crooked
and shit. They're extorting him and gamble. Yeah, they're shitheads. And so he goes outside and he tells him, he's all, "What do you want?" He tells him, "I want Val Resnick." "Well, who did I tell him looking for him?" He's all, "Tell him Porter." And he goes, he's all, "You're not going to kill me, are you?" And he goes, "Not in front of these kids," because they're out. It's like a playground across the street, like basketball hoops and shit. He's all, "Not in front of these kids." So that shows you, yeah, he's a badass, but he's a good guy. He's not
right. And that reflects
traumatize these
is
kids.
reflected in the books. That's what they kept true to this character. He is a killer. He is a monster, but just to bad people.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't kill innocents. He doesn't kill the person he doesn't kill the bank teller when he robs a bank, but he kills other villains. So
yeah, he's not going to blow this dude's brains out in front of a bunch of kids. So somebody calls Val Resnick. Stegman calls, because it's called the Outfit, this crime syndicate that he works for. And so he calls that guy, and that guy calls Val and tells him, "Hey, Arthur Stegman called and said some guy was looking for you, man. He said that he wanted some money from you, and he's very convincing." He's like, "Oh, he's all right. Tell that son of a bitch that I'll meet him in, say, 20 minutes. And so Lucy Liu, she's like this dominatrix. He pays her to come and kick him in his balls and punch him in the face and shit.
Pays her to come and nag him for putting the dishes in the dishwasher incorrectly.
Yeah. "Oh, you remind me of."
I could have married Billy Johnson. He's a dentist.
Yeah, 5 years ago, you promised to put in a spice rack and all this shit. And but no, he pays her to come and beat his ass and talk shit to him. She's a dominatrix. And so he goes, he looks at her, looks her up and down and says, "Make it 20 minutes. And so she's like, punching him and backhanding him and kicking him in the balls. Like, she kicks his ass. And he kicks her ass too. They both get off on it. And so when he's done with her, he and shout out to Lucy Liu. Late 90s, early 2000s, you weren't making a big budget movie without Lucy Liu.
She's easy on the eyes.
Yeah. And so speaking of easy on the eyes, I think she's like cross-eyed a little bit.
But, I didn't mean it like that.
She is a little cross-eyed. But he meets Arthur Stegman at a restaurant. He's being an asshole to him from the jump. Like, what the fuck do you want?
And one thing I like about the actors playing Val, that I just happened to catch it in this one here, that he looks like that's what he's saying there. He does have a real arrogance to him, this actor. He pulls it off.
Yeah, great. He does.
The hair up and back, the expressions on his face, in this great design by the costume designer with the silver robe or whatever. Like, they pull off, he's just a smug, like, narcissistic piece of shit, this guy.
Yeah.
You know?
And he ends up talking shit. When he tells him, he goes, "So, who's looking for me?" He's like, he's like, "What do you look like?" Dark hair, blue eyes, like real badass. He really seemed like he wanted to kill you. And he goes, "Did he have a name?" Yeah, he said Porter. And when he says his name, you see the color fucking drain from Val Resnick's face. He's like,
right,
Porter. So he's shitting bricks because he thought Porter was dead. It's been 5 months. He thought this
gave him two dead in the back with the wife.
Yeah. So and then kicked him in the face. When he squatted down to show him that picture, he stands up and just with dress shoes just boots him in the face. So he thought he was dead. And so he's all pissed off after he tells him it's Porter. So this guy in the corner booth looks at him and he goes, because he's being loud, he started cussing shit. So people look at him like, what the fuck? There's a family there with kids and they're turning the kids' heads away. And he goes, "What the fuck are you looking at? Huh?" And Arthur's like, no, man, chill out. Don't do that again. "No, what the fuck are you looking at?" And he gets up and walks over there, pushes the guy, takes some fries off his plate and shit, and he puts them in his mouth, he eats them, and he walks away and he goes, "Oh," and the manager comes over, he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it." He's all, "Don't worry, Val, this one's on me." And he goes, "You see me reaching for my fucking wallet?" And he walks up, dude's a dick. Such a dick to Stegman. And so they walk out, and then he goes, "Oh yeah, he just got a promotion. He just wound up tight." So there's some comedic beats in here. There's some comic relief in some of these scenes. So it's a very well-rounded movie.
Speaking of fries, and we always talk about food on the channel. I'll go fast because we are running out of time. I went out last night with Big Baby, and we had a proper English meal. I don't care what anyone says. British food is not bad. All I ever heard my whole life was it was terrible. This place, the owners are real British. The manager's Irish. Like it's in San Diego. It's near the airport, right off the 5 freeway. And I had proper British chips, shepherd's pie, and peas, and then a big side of gravy. And it was freaking delicious. I've only been there 4 times, and I love it. It's the Shakespeare Club. When you mentioned those fries, it reminded me of the dinner I had last night. It was outrageously good. When you're here in a few weeks, Jericho, I will try to get you to the Shakespeare Club pub because it's delicious. It's delicious. Do you like French fries with gravy? You
Never
will.
had it with gravy.
I didn't have them that way before. It's insane. They're so good. Anyway, this guy's a French fry thief now too. On top of everything,
he reaches in the dude's plate.
Now, so his wife is dead. Don't confuse this actress with his wife. His wife was also blonde, but she was older than this gal. This is Rosie. I think her name is something else in the book. How does he get to Rosie in the movie? I know in the book, but why does he come here? Who gave him this address? Was it Stegman?
Stegman gave him that address, and he's like, ask for, I think Michael is the guy's name. Like he knows the girls, how to get in touch with the girls. So he goes to that hotel. You see him standing out in front of it. He goes in the hotel and he asks the guy, he's like, hey, I hear you're in charge of horizontal refreshments. I need you to get in contact with the girl for me. And the guy is a smart ass. He goes, prostitution's illegal. You might want to go like to the street corner or something, like, makes a comment like he's a bum or something like that. And he goes, okay. And the guy's standing there with his hand on the counter. And it's one of those counters where they lifts up so the bartender can go back and forth from behind the counter. And so he slams the thing down on his fucking hand. The guy goes, and he's like holding it in. He goes, now. He goes, I'm usually more discreet. He goes, okay. Slams it down. The guy screams. He's all, now we'll be discreet. Her name's Rosie. Call her. And he goes, so his other hand that's not being smashed by that fucking door. He calls her, and then he takes the phone and says, Rosie? He's like, yeah, who's this? It's Porter. He's all, try it. She goes, try again, honey. Porter's dead. And he goes, I used to drive for you. She's like, oh my God, Porter. So she invites him up. She has this big ass dog. And he's all, this thing's as mean as you are. What's his name? Porter. And so she makes these comments like, you left me, or you used to protect me. Now I need the dog to protect me. And he's like, I was waiting for him to say, bitch, I got shot in the back. It's not like I just fucking ghosted you. I took 2 to the back. I had to recover. So she's kind of mad, but you can tell there's like the sexual tension between them. And she's mad at him for leaving her, but it's because, she loves it or whatever. Everybody smokes, by the way. It's fucking gorgeous. They make it look so damn cool. And so she works for the syndicate too. She's like, well, it's not going to look good if I send you there to kill one of their boys. And she's like, what if they ask you where you found it? He's like, I'm not going to give you up. She's like, what if they ask you really hard? He's like, I'm not going to give you up. And so she tells him, okay, it's the, what is it? Something Arms Hotel.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it.
And she's like, that's where you'll find him. So then the next scene, it's fucking Val Resnick and her sleeping in the bed. Now the scene starts on Mel Gibson. You're like, where the fuck is he? He's sitting there just smoking a cigarette. You can tell his foot's up on something like a Captain Morgan kind of thing. And the camera pans around and you see he's in Val Resnick's bedroom, just sitting there watching him sleep. And so Resnick, you can feel somebody's looking at you.
Right.
He feels that he has that feeling, and he opens his eyes at Porter's in his bedroom. He goes, oh, shit. And he reaches over, classic, reaching over to the nightstand to grab his pistol. He goes, it's not there. It's right here. And he points to like his lower back, like he has it tucked in his waistband. And he goes, Al, what's up?
I got to point out something amazing about this that I know Mel Gibson did his homework. So you got to look really close the way he's holding that revolver with a thumb on top of the gun, the one finger forward near the trigger guard, and then the rest of the fingers kind of spread around the bottom. In the 1960 movie with Lee Marvin, he is constantly holding the gun that way. I don't know why, but he keeps holding it that way. And I just can't help but think that Mel Gibson, like, obviously watched this movie, which is the same story. I'm going to adopt some of his body language. I don't know. I saw that and I was like, wow. And that whole 60s aesthetic. Damn, it was fucking pop-up ads. I'm trying to get you guys a cool picture of that. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a nice painting of Lee Marvin in Point Blank. Check out Point Blank. It's a great movie. It's got a groovy, like 1967 feel for it. And it's a good one, too. It's the same story, based on the same book. But the way he's on that gun, Lee Marvin keeps doing that in that movie. I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah, Mel Gibson did his due diligence for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how you cock the hammer back. You cock it back and then put your finger back on the trigger.
Right.
And so he's telling him, I want my money. He goes, oh, it's all your money's gone. Because so what he did was to get back in the good graces of the syndicate, or he doesn't call it the syndicate. It's
the outfit.
The outfit, because he says that, and the girl's like, Rosie's like, we don't call it the syndicate anymore. It's the outfit. Right. So to get back in the outfit's good graces, he owed him money. So that's why he ripped off Mel Gibson. So he took Mel Gibson's half, Porter's half, his half, gave it to the outfit. So now he's back in the good graces. He's under their protection. He can go around town, do what the fuck he wants, slap people around, and he's protected by the outfit. So that's why he did it. So he tells him, I don't have your money. I gave it to the outfit, man. I don't have it. And so he cocks the fucking gun like he's about to kill him. He's like, well, what the fuck do I need you for? All right, I'll get it. He's like, just give me a few days. He goes, tomorrow, noon, have my money, or I'll be back. And so what does he say to him? He said something he goes,
he said,
hey,
here comes the tickle monster, and then he tickled him on
his back.
And he blew raspberries on his belly.
He's all, stop. Stop. Okay, I'll have your money. So he tells him, he goes, hey, Porter, no hard feelings, right? And he goes,
oh, yeah.
No. He goes, no hard feelings, you. And he's about to crack him. I'm telling you, his gun weighs like 3 pounds. He's about to crack his skull with that gun. And the girl, she goes, stop. No. Let me do it. She starts whooping his ass. So he goes,
no, he already paid. He has 30 minutes left. Let me beat his ass.
And so he backhands her, and then he cocks the gun and puts it to his head, and he goes, let her work. So she's whooping his ass and knocks him down. He has blood coming out of his lip, and he goes, he's all, hey, one of those girls, one of those hookers, you ever hurt her? He's like, well, what do you mean? So you ever hurt one of the hookers? And he said something like, yeah, fuck her. Who gives a fuck about her? He's standing up, and he just boots him right in his face with those dress shoes on. Getting booted in the face is bad. When you got fucking like hardwood bottom dress shoes, dude,
with that sharp corner on the heel. Oh,
he just boots him
over.
Dude, knocks him out. And then so he goes to the outfit. Hey, I got this guy. He's trying to fucking kill me for some money. And he goes, and he says, hey, how'd you get that money that you owed us so quick? And he goes, oh, that's why he wants to kill you. So that's the boss. Again, going up the chain.
Right. So they're like,
Val.
You idiot. You stole from Parker to pay us money you owed us. And now Parker's coming after you and maybe us.
And now it's our problem.
Val has screwed himself here.
Yeah. And now it's the outfit's problem because he's under their protection.
Right.
So basically he tells him, you take care of this and that'll show us that you're worthy of being a member of the syndicate. So he says, until then, get the fuck out of here. We don't want any more trouble at the hotel. So when he leaves, that guy's right-hand man says, hey, what do you want us to do? He says, he's all, kill Porter. And he goes, do you want any trophies or Polaroids? He's like, nah, not this time. And then he says, don't tell so-and-so, which is his boss. Don't tell him. We don't need him to think we can.
His boss is Bronson.
Yeah, Bronson.
This guy in the white sleeves and the vest, I forget his name, but his boss is Chris Christopherson, the beady-eyed guy with the white goatee and the white hair. You'll see him later. He's the big boss. He's way up the ladder. Yeah. So the outfit has levels of criminals with their underlings, and there's a guy over him and a guy over him, and it goes all the way to the big boss, who is Bronson. And we'll get to Bronson later.
Yeah, Carter. That's his name. Carter.
Okay, yeah. All right. I forgot what this short little scene with the triad guys was. I have no idea what that's doing there.
So he told him, meet me on such and such, the corner of such and such and whatever at noon with my money. So the scene starts with Val standing there with a briefcase. And as Mel Gibson's walking across the street, what's that fucking Jimi Hendrix song?
Stand right next to the mountain, chop it down with the edge of my hand.
Yeah, so that starts, and then when that part kicks in, it shows Mel Gibson walking up. The score in this movie is fucking genius. So it shows him walking across. So he's walking in the street to go get Val. And then the last scene, Val told the girl, hey, your buddy's still in town. So he told the triad that Porter's the one, a voodoo child. Thank you. Fucking randomizer every time. So he told her, let those guys know that Porter's the one that stole their fucking money. It's been less than 6 months, so it's very fresh in their mind. And so they come running up, boom, hit Porter with the car and fucking, start kicking the shit out of him. They throw him on the hood. They're going to fucking, Lucy Lou's going to cut his dick off and shit. And so the cops show up and they save his ass. But now the cops, Leary and fucking Hicks, Hicks on the left, Leary on the right. Now they're gonna extort Porter. Now they find out that he's getting fucking money, so they want a cut of the money that he's getting. So now the outfit's after his ass, the triad's after his ass, and now these two cops are on his ass too.
So what's great about this? Again, there's a little writing lesson from me. There's a thing you want to have in the second act called rising action, and it delivers on the promise of the premise, as Blake Snyder, or as William Bernhardt said. William Bernhardt's a great writer, and he writes great books about writing. Delivering on the promise of the premise is, if you call your book Star Wars, you better have some stars and some wars in the middle of the book. Mm-hmm. So in the second act, you want rising action where the hero is confronting his problem, and then he confronts another one, but it's worse, and another one, and it's worse, and the problems keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse until you get to the finale, the climax on it. So that's what this book is doing good, is that he has a little bit of it starts off awful getting shot, but this thing gets more and more and more complicated as time goes by, which is really fun. He keeps making more enemies and more people after him, having to kill more people and ask more questions, and I think that's a really good way. So yeah, he got beat up by the triads, that he gets saved by the cops, and now the cops want a piece of money. He heads back to Rosie, and she's giving him a little bit of tenderness.
TLC. Yeah. We patch her head up, then we'll take care of the other head.
Right.
Everybody's fine. Everybody's
Let's
happy.
put our two heads together.
Oh, yeah, he's loving life right now.
All right. So Val shows up to where?
Well, Porter leaves.
Right.
Porter leaves. Val shows up because he knows that they have a relationship. So he's squeezing her to find out where he is, so he can get the drop on him, kill him like the outfit told him to, and then he's their golden boy. But he doesn't know that Porter just stepped out for a minute because he knew he would fucking come.
Right.
So when he does that, Porter comes back in, fucking knocks him to the floor, and then he shoots him. I think he shoots him in the foot with a 44. So that's messy inside that shoe. You don't want to take that shoe off. So
looking like a bowl of SpaghettiOs in there.
Yeah, it's on. Leave the shoe on to hold it together.
Oh, SpaghettiOs.
So
I just picture Joe Biden like with a crash helmet on, eating SpaghettiOs, like it's his favorite dinner or whatever.
But he still can't get it from the bowl to his mouth. Like his hand shaking and it just
too big of an ask. That's just too big of an ask.
Yeah, you can't. Okay, you got him the bowl and the spoon, but you can't ask him to fucking feed himself. So he's telling Val, Val's begging for his life. Oh, come on, man, please. And so he pulls out a cigarette and he goes, "You got a light?" And he pats himself down. I don't have a light. Well, then what good are you? And he puts a pillow over his face. Boom! Shoots him in the face with a fucking 44 Magnum. It's over. It's fucking over for poor Val.
Right.
So he goes, he has like this, shitty, like it looks like a by the hour motel that he's staying in.
It's the No-Tell Motel. $14 $14 per 15 minutes. One of those. One of those where you go with your secretary on.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't need a whole hour, right? So the phone rings and he's like, "Who the fuck knows that I'm here?" And so he looks out the window and there's a car full of goons, and the guy in the back seat is the one who told Carter, or asked Carter, "Do you want any Polaroids or trophies?" He's like, "No." So they put a bomb under the bed, call his room. He's supposed to answer the phone, kaboom. But Porter's too smart for that. So what he does is he goes out, he looks out the window, sees those guys there, climbs under the car, pops a hole in or cuts their gas line. So now there's gas leaking and it's going down the sidewalk. And they look in the rear view and see Porter standing behind him, but he's supposed to be up in the room. They're like, "What the fuck?" And of course, cool as a cucumber, cool as the other side of the pillow, as they say. He lights a cigarette, fucking throws. Why do they always throw the Zippo? Throws the fucking Zippo. Is so nice. Cool, man. Throws a Zippo in the trail of gas. Oh shit! No! Boom! Blows their fucking car up. Wonderful. Oh, by the way, this takes place in New York City. Coolest city for a movie ever.
And the Parker novels mostly take place in New York, and that's like his home base. He loves upstate New York, but he goes down to Florida, he goes to Puerto Rico. There's a great one called Someone asked me what the best Parker novel was. One of the best ones is called, I think it's just called The Score. And that one, let me grab my books right here, because it's one of the 4. Only 4 got turned into graphic novels. And then unfortunately, Darwin Cook, the artist who was translating the books into graphic novels, he died. He got pancreatic cancer and died like 10 years ago. The Score is an amazing Parker story. He and like 12 dudes rob a city, an entire city that's a secluded copper mining town in like North Dakota. And there's like only one way in and one way out and one police station. And they set up this guy comes to them. I won't tell you any twist. The Score is an awesome one. That's the name of that book. But yeah, they rob an entire city. They rob the jewelry store. They rob the bank. They rob like the copper mine payroll. They rob. So it's a crazy book. It's so good. Anyway, he blows the shit out of these guys and does the cool guy drag on the
drag.
city.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Mel Gibson, coolest motherfucker ever.
Captain Horror, this film is really reminding me of John Wick more and more. They must have gotten inspiration from this. Absolutely. This is a great revenge tale. Parker, of all the crime stuff, I've read a lot of crime stuff. It's my favorite. And I don't know if this book is my favorite, the Hunter, but it's a classic. There's a reason it's been made into a movie, I think 3 times. So it's awesome. I would love to see someone make it as the 50s kind of version, because even Lee Marvin's version is a little groovy, a little hippie Summer of Love, because it's from like 1967. I would like to see it more Mad Men, more like late 50s, early 60s. You know what I mean? No hippie bullshit.
And that was a Summer of Love, 1967.
Yeah. Right.
So the cops, he's going to what they think he's going to collect his money. So they stop him. They say, wait, give me. They say, what do you got there? And he takes out his gun and he points it at him. And they're like, oh shit. And then he flips it around, hands it to him, grip first. And he's like, oh wow, this is a fucking, seems a nutcracker. It's heavy and all this stuff. And so they go, we'll hold on to it for you. So he goes. Now he's going to the hotel to see Carter, because Resnick, he's out of there. The goons that he sent after him, they're fucking out of there. So now he's going to go see Carter, the man who sent him. And he takes a fucking roll of quarters in his hand and just walks up to one of the security guys. He turns around and he just fucking knocks that dude out. Boom! Just fucking big ass dude flattens him with that fucking roll of quarters, and he just tosses the quarters on Carter's desk. He's like, "You must be Porter," and he's real cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing about Carter's character. He's not scared. He's like, "Oh, you must be Porter," and she's like, "Yep."
Right. This is his world. He's a big crime boss, so of course he's used to work about shit. Now this scene again in the book, in the comic book, then the graphic novel version, in the '60s movie, and in this movie, this is Porter at some of his most hardcore and ruthless, because he goes into here to this guy who I think is a boss, but also does a lot of the accounting stuff, or he talks to an accountant. He basically tells Porter, we don't have your money. We can't get it, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'll work on it. But they have this argument going back and forth, Carter and Porter. And he says, I'll call the big boss, Bronson, and he'll tell you himself if we're going to give you your money or not. You know what I mean? So they get Bronson on the speakerphone. This is the book, the comic book, both movies. They go on the speakerphone with this guy. This is Bronson. And he's listening to them talk and argue. Fucking Porter shoots Carter and kills him while Bronson is on the phone listening. It's so hardcore.
Because he tells him, he's like, if you don't give him my money, I'm going to kill your boy. And he goes, what? He's all bullshit. He goes, are you going to give me my money? Fuck no. Boom! Shoots Carter right in his chest. And he says something. He's like, he shot me.
In the book, he shoots his head off. Just blah. And in the comic book too, just bow. So,
yeah, he shoots him, and then he's like, you shot me. And he fucking dies. Carter! And he's like, Carter's dead. He goes, you son of a bitch. He's like, I'll give you your money, but you won't live long enough to enjoy it, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, and Carter asks him this too. He says, how much does he owe you? 70,000? Yeah. And then that shows what an honest guy he is. He doesn't want more. He just wants a 70 grand. Right. That was half of his cut of the job that they did. Give me my 70 grand. That's all he wants. And they're all, you only want 70 grand? He's like, yeah, that's all I fucking want. And so he sees Carter's book and Justin Fairfax. That's the next guy in the food chain. That's the guy between Carter and Bronson.
Yeah.
So he sees, okay, this is back when everything was written down in an address book or Rolodex before everything was in your pocket. And so he fucking finds his address. Now he's going to go see Mr. Fairfax. But he has to go back downstairs and get his gun from the cops. So they go, where's the money? He's like, oh, well, he didn't have it. I got to go to this next guy. And they tell him, hey, don't fucking jerk us around. All right. You fuck around, you're going to prison for the drugs you had, blah, blah, blah. And so he puts the gun in a newspaper so nobody will see it. So the cop hands him his gun back. And then he also he picked his pocket and took one of the cops' badges.
Yeah.
I think he took fucking Tracy's or Hicks' badge. And so now he goes back to where Resnick's body is, fucking puts the
badge
cop's badge in the dead man's hand.
Right.
Now he's crafting the plan to take everybody down.
Right.
And so
thank you, Heather. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We're in the speed round. We got 23 minutes. We'll get through this. It's a good movie. They're great books. Check out Payback. I hear there's a director's cut where they change up a lot. I'm gonna have to check that out next.
So he puts the fucking badge, cop's badge, making it look like he got into a struggle with the cop, had the badge, the cop killed him. So now he goes to Rosie and they're hatching a plan.
Right.
To now he's gonna kidnap
Bronson's kid.
Son. Yes.
Bronson's got like one of those
21.
Twerpy, spoiled, his dad's a mafioso, big wig.
Yeah.
And so he's a shitty, like 20, 21-year-old, whatever. And she's going to use her feminine charms to entrap this young man.
Which is not hard to do with a 21-year-old man. I think all you have to do is be female.
Do you remember, we don't have to go into any incriminating details that would make us look bad to our wives. You just remember your approach to women when you were a teenager and a young 20-something. I will say this. There's not a lot of reason involved.
No, your hormones. You remember that Tide commercial where the guy had a stain on his shirt and he was in an interview and the stain had a mouth and it was like, blah, 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 blah. The guy couldn't even hear the guy talk because the stain was so loud. Like the guy is staring at the stain. He can't even hear what's coming out of his mouth. That's what it's like when you're a young man, from when you're like 13 or 14 till, I don't know.
So you're about, I'd say like 87.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I get there. But basically,
I think it was the great philosopher Plato, I believe. It could have been Aristotle. He said in his older age, it was good to be freed from the tyranny of lust.
Yeah.
You know what
like
I mean?
Before you learn how, it's like a movie where somebody gets magic powers and they don't know how to use them yet. They're fucking shooting, lightning bolts out of their fingers and blowing up their furniture, until you learn how. So until you learn how to control your hormones, all that's in your head when you talk to girls, fuck. That's all you're trying to do. You don't know how to approach it. You don't know how to finesse it. Some guys do. But most guys, you're just, until you learn how to control.
Some guys are like weird and creepy. Some guys are like a golden retriever, just running up and, jumping in people's laps and licking everybody and like real friendly. And some guys are super smooth and cool. I don't know. It's a learning curve.
Yeah, but eventually you learn how to control your powers. Like when
Which were you?
I don't know. I was somewhere in between all of them. I was sometimes intimidated, by going up and talking to girls and shit, but I was pretty mellow. I wasn't crazy.
I got my girlfriend pregnant when I was 17, had my first kid at 18. So that's the kind I was.
Yeah, he was the golden retriever, apparently.
Came natural to me. I don't want to insult guys that have trouble. I do wonder why guys have trouble talking to women. I've wondered that my whole life. Like, what are you afraid of? Her saying no is the same thing as you not approaching.
But you get in your head. What if this? What if that? Shit gets crazy. That's one of the things that I'm going to impart on my son. Don't be afraid. Don't be intimidated by women. Right. They're humans too. They do things the same way you do.
They've all clogged the toilet at least once.
Yeah, they all fart and shit. So don't be intimidated. That's one of the things I want to let him.
It's funny. Men are more logical than women. Women are more emotional than men. I'm not going to debate that, except when it comes to romance. Men have zero logic. We romanticize women into perfect, loving angels. Women become the cold engineering, computerized, like calculating when it comes to women are tactical about relationships, money, provision, blah, blah, blah. Men are like, she can do no wrong and she's an angel on a cloud. It's funny. We lose all reason when it comes to romance.
Because we're new to that. We're new to romance. Women, that's what they were born for. This is what they've been.
I mean,
they're here
women
for.
are not romantic. Men are romantic. Who writes the love songs? Who does the gestures? Who buys the chocolate and the flowers and writes the poetry? Who does all the romantic things? We do it. They receive it. They're not romantic.
Yeah.
Have your wife hit on you. Like, tell your wife to like use a pickup line on you. It's hilarious to watch. Women don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
And just like when they step into our world, it's foreign to them and they look crazy. And when we step into theirs, the romance and the feelings, the feely feels, we're all gangly and uncoordinated and shit. You know?
Yeah. It's interesting. And I always say this with the differences between men and women. Neither's inferior. They're just, men and women are mirror images of each other. They're just mirror images. That's what I say. It's like a left hand and a right hand. The exact same thing, but reversed. That's all.
Yeah. Take your woman outside with you to split wood. She don't know how to hold the axe. She ain't swinging hard enough.
My wife had to be cooled off about 3 weeks ago. We had a stump in the backyard, a big stump. And my son was out there like chopping the roots with the shovel and this and that. And he was trying to ply it up. And I helped him a little. And then I just bend over. I grabbed the bottom of this tree and I just ripped this giant stump out of the ground. And she was just like, wow, wow. And she was talking about it like 2 days later.
And then he ripped the stump out of the ground. And now we're having a third baby. Yeah.
Would it be weird if my wife got me flowers? Yes, it'd be a waste of money. I would like, okay, first of all, my wife would never do that because she's traditionally feminine. She's doing this nonsense. But it would just be a waste of money. Like the flowers, they're nice. I don't care though. I don't want them. And Heather says, you're putting the kitty cat on a pedestal. Yes.
Yeah, don't do that.
But that comes natural to us, Heather. We have an instinct to provide and protect. And you have to fight putting a woman on a pedestal because it will turn you into simp. It'll get you used. Like my dad says, when you're a nice guy, you get used like a hand towel.
Yeah, you know? Nothing like a simp. Oh,
the worst.
Okay, we got 17 minutes.
All right,
so it's his 21st birthday. Porter,
this is the son of the big boss of the outfit. This is the son of Bronson,
the douche, and they're watching a game or a fight.
Boxing match, I think.
Yeah, they're watching a fight, and the idea is to pick him up. Hey, I'm your gift for your 21st birthday. Let's go hop in the limo. That way, his friends are like, "No, go ahead, man," because if your homeboys. If he hooks up, hey, we'll walk.
Hey,
Don't worry about us. We'll get home.
I'm not messing that up.
Yeah, go, man, go. So
like
they know that
you're single. If you're married and one of your friends takes off with the exotic dancer, what a dilemma now. Like, what do you do? You're not calling his wife, but you're going to talk to him like, dude, what are you doing? Hold on. My son is here. What do you need? Oh, my daughter is going on stage at 9, so I can go a little bit longer. So, but I ain't gonna push it. I'm gonna push it. Let's still speed. Minnie's doing a roast battle tonight, so
kill him. More blood on her hands.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna tell him, hey, I'm your gift for your 21st birthday from your dad. You know, a call girl or whatever, and we're gonna have fun tonight. So they get him in the limo, and fucking. Oh man, this is great. Fucking so what? And she put handcuffs him to like the fucking little railing or whatever, where you like hang your dry cleaning from.
Right.
And she handcuffs him. He's like, oh shit, this is gonna be great. And then she sits next to him, lights a cigarette. He's like, hey, what's going on? Yeah, just relax, kid. And he figures out, oh, she's not here to fucking bang me for my birthday. And then Porter puts down the partition. He's driving the limo. And he puts down the partition, and fucking just relax, kid. You won't get hurt. Just do what we tell you. And so they take him somewhere and hold him hostage. And so he still goes to see Mr. Fairfax.
Right. So this is Fairfax now, right?
Yeah.
In the gray suit here. So yeah, he has to keep going.
Great actor too.
Yeah. But he has to keep going up and up the ladder of these criminals in the outfit.
He's almost there.
Right.
I'm trying to find
the next to last boss.
Yeah, I'm trying to find his name.
I forget. So yeah, he's there confronting Fairfax. What are these two with the suitcases? They have the money, right?
No, those are he's coming back from vacation. That's his luggage.
Vacation. Duh.
Yeah, that's his luggage. And he tells the guys, keep those bags up. He's like, you drop them, I'll drill you. That's what he tells them. because you know they don't want them reaching for their piece.
Right.
So they gotta fucking holding the bags up. And so he's like, well, who are you? My name's Porter. What do you want? I want $70,000. He goes, $70,000. My suits cost more than $70,000. He's like, get on the phone to Bronson. And so he's calling Bronson. And while he's on the phone, one of the guys starts to lower the luggage. So he fucking boom, shoots the bag, and he goes, Fairfax. Because the last time he talked to somebody on the phone, their ass got shot.
Right.
He's like, no, I'm good. I'm here. I'm good. He just shot my leg, and he goes, that's mean, man. That's just mean. So during the previews they show on TV, that's one of the ones that they show where he goes, you're just mean, man. Real mean. And so he's like, no, I'm good. He didn't shoot me. And he goes, he lets him know that he has his son. And he goes, bullshit, you don't have my son. And he goes, you bought him a Ferrari. You want me to read the inscription on the keys? And he's like, you're fucking dead. He's like, I'll give you your money, but you'll never let me spend it. I'm gonna fucking kill you and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah. Fucking just give me my money. When and where. And so he leaves, and those guys finally fucking drop the bags. And he goes, you guys are fired. You fucking suck. I can't find that dude's name.
That's all right. Let's see. I'll look for it too. Did you go to Internet Movie Database?
No, just Googlified it. Maria Bello. That's Rose's.
Nothing wrong with that. Let's see. I'm looking. What is his name? I don't see him on here. There's a lot of guys on it. I see a guy that's...
He's been in another movie I've seen him in. Let's see.
I don't see him. I don't know his name. Huh. I don't know. I don't know that guy's name that plays Fairfax.
Oh, I'll find it.
Hold on. Sorry, guys. This is not good radio. Sitting here.
James Coburn. I knew that.
Duh.
That guy's name.
Very good actor. Yeah. So anyway, now everyone knows what the score is. All right.
Yeah.
Porter has Fairfax's son, or Porter has Bronson's son in that apartment that had the bed bomb. Remember the bomb under the bed? Those guys called him. Mm-hmm. That's that's where he's going to tell them he has the son. He has a son at a different place with Rosie, chained to like the radiator or something like that. Mm-hmm. Heather says, I missed Golden Girls for this. Yes, you did. Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
So the cops have Stegman, and then they just blow Stegman away. Why? I don't even remember why this happens here.
Because they're trying to kidnap Porter to extort him for some of his money too. Now everybody knows the cat's out of the bag, so everybody wants a piece of the pie. And so he points a gun at him, get in the car, and then he fucking immediately takes the gun away from Stegman because Stegman's not a fucking killer.
No,
and
look at him. Oh boy,
he's a dork. And so the Triad, they're still after Porter. We forgot about them.
Right.
So the Triad shows up and he pushes Stegman up against the window so he can take all the automatic gunfire in his fucking back. And that's what he did. So they shot up Stegman and his fucking driver. But now they're still after Porter.
That's too bad. And then she's back, the dominatrix lady, because she's with the Triad.
Yeah. And so he like, well, cool part is he slides under the car and just starts shooting the floorboards and shoots the shit out of all the Triad dudes inside the car. That was pretty cool.
So then she's gonna turn him over to Bronson and all them, right?
Well, I think she wants to have a go at him first. She's like, hubba. Oh, that's another part. She goes, hubba, hubba, hubba. That was in the previews too. Right. And so she was gonna shoot him, but she stopped. She's like mesmerized by his eyes. And he fucking takes the gun and blam, fucking blasts her right in her face and knocks her the fuck out. And so the henchman, the henchman does. The henchman fucking hits her because he comes up to her and she goes, hey, fat boy. And he walks up to her, fucking boom, knocks her out. And he pinches his sides like, I'm not that. And she like wakes up or sits up and fucking has blood coming out of her mouth. And she like licks it like, this is fun. She's a freak. And so they Porter, they hit him in the head with like a fucking, what do you call those things? A blackjack, like a small club or something.
There's a sap, there's a billy club, there's a blackjack, there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the classic hit him over the back of the head, knock him out, and they're taking him to see Mr. Bronson. it's not going to go well.
We go to the Steam Spark Fire Factory.
Yeah. Well, this is the corner. You know that place in like wherever it is in America where 4 states meet at one point?
Right. 4
This
corners.
is the fire, sparks, steam, molten metal, all converging here. This is the warehouse they have him in.
Right. So yeah, so they have him here. They're gonna torture him. They're gonna talk to him, and like they're gonna get the kid back. They can't kill him, because they got to get the kid back. So they do some torturing and some yelling and all that, and they throw him in the trunk of the car.
Yeah, they go to work on him. They go to work on him pretty good. They not only hit him in the face, and of course, I love it, classic movie trope. They hit him in the face. Is that all you got? He spits out blood. You know, your mom hits harder than that. All that kind of shit. And then he's like, "Oh well, that's not working. So what we're going to do is we're going to take your socks and your shoes off. They're going to take this little hammer, this little sledgehammer, and we're going to smash your toes."
Oh.
So the henchman's down on his knees with a little mini sledgehammer raised in the air. And he goes, "Last chance." Bronson tells him, "Last chance." And he looks at him and goes, "This little piggy went to market." I'm like, oh shit. Blam! Comes down on his foot. He's like, ah! He's like spitting and shit. Oh, fuck. And he goes, "Tell me where my kid is." This little piggy stayed home. I mean, they go through like 3-4 toes, and he's like, "All right, I'll tell you."
They're gonna give him hammer toes.
Yeah, it's hammer time. And so they throw him in the trunk of the car. They're bringing him with them. So if you're fucking lying to us, we're gonna kill you.
Well, and they can't kill him until they find the son, because he's the one who knows where the son is. So that's keeping him alive. So yeah, he's tied up in the trunk of the car, and they're gonna go inside and see if they can find the kid where he told them to go. He's not sending them where the kid is. He's sending them to the place where that bomb was under the bed that the phone would activate.
Yep, because he's a smart guy.
Right.
So he's sending him to his apartment.
So yeah, so here's his son with Porter the dog and the girlfriend at a different place, at a hotel room or something like that.
And as you can see, poor Porter got shot. Glad to see he's alive, because you didn't know whether he was alive or dead. Fucking Val shot him when he came in there to kill. So
here's a really cool thing. He claws his way basically through the trunk, through the back seat, into the limo or the Lincoln or whatever it is, that big boat car the mafiosos had.
Cadillac. Yeah.
He gets through the back seat. That's insane, dude.
With one of his toes, fucking one of his feet turned to hamburger.
Right.
And he has to drive.
Yeah.
With his foot fucked up.
Then he gets on the car phone. And he calls upstairs to where the kid.
Because he has to call. He has to call before they realize and turn around and leave. So he has to hurry up and get to the phone and call them while they're still in the room.
Yeah. And you know what happens when you call that phone? They set up a bomb to go off under the bed from the electrical charge.
Bye-bye.
Boom.
Fucking out of here. So Bronson's dead. Fairfax is dead. And all the henchmen they brought with them. It's a wrap for everybody.
And then the money was in the car with him. You know, the bad guys had the money.
Nice.
He gets the money. He gets the girl. And he gets the hell out of town.
Yeah, she tells him where to. You know, because now she's driving him. He's like, "Oh, fuck, just get me out of here. Get me to a doctor so they can fix my hamburger helper toes."
Right.
This dude, his feet are out of here. So, yeah, what a great ending to a great movie. And the cops got arrested because the cops' fingerprints were on the murder weapon. Because remember, he took his gun from him. They found the badge in Resnick's hand. So it's a wrap for the cops, too. He got those.
What about the triad? Is that a loose end still?
No, he shot them all. When he got under the car, he fucking blasted him.
So yeah, he had all the people after him and he killed them all. So now he's safe. And but here's the thing: the outfit still exists. There's still tons of mobsters. So what he does now is he goes in the next book. He gets plastic surgery and changes his face. So there's a book. It's called The Outfit, but it's the other name for it is The Man with the Getaway Face. You know, and that's why the
outfit, they got that from the book too.
Yeah. So the cover of this one, let me turn off the background so you can see it. The cover of this one, that's why you'll see he has bandages all over his face. Because he went to a plastic surgeon and got his whole face like replaced. Because people knew Parker, because he was a famous criminal that worked for all the syndicates and all that. And yeah. So I would recommend these books. They come with my highest recommendation. Look how great the art in this is. Miami Beach, 1963. What a way to start that, you know?
What a time to be on Miami Beach.
Right. Oh, that's why I'm so excited about the books I'm writing, because Dean Cain, All-American Lawman, Volume 2, The Hong Kong Connection, it's going to be like this. It's going to be like crime and capers. Of course, Chris Tanaka, our hero, he's a good guy, but there's still going to be some capers in it, and we'll show you how a good guy can pull capers and not be a villain. But I love this genre, and I want to give it a shot myself as a writer. So I'm very excited. Very excited.
I think you'll do all right.
Yeah, Jericho, you already know the plot to the Hong Kong Connection, and you told me you thought it was very cool. So, but
very clever.
Yeah. So let's real quick do some business, and then we'll get out of here. Thank you all for joining us for a short show tonight. My daughter's doing stand-up comedy, a roast battle at the Comedy Store here in San Diego, so I got to head over there to support. Watch her eviscerate someone on stage.
Yep, you hate to see it.
Right. Well, you know how it goes.
Has to be done.
You know, Miami still has some good things, not like back then for sure. Dude, Mark's Music Obsession. He must have been a slayer in 80s back in the old days. What do you think?
Dude, with the guitar neck.
Dude, if he was like the guy pulling out the guitar at the beach bonfire,
playing a few chords,
just forget about it, dude.
And then all of a sudden there's 9 pairs of panties flying at you. You poor guy.
Right.
You poor guy.
Oh my goodness. Must be a close drive. Yeah. So I got a good spot here in San Diego. A very good spot.
For me, it'd be a bit of a drive.
It'd be a bit of a drive for you. Yeah.
About 9 hours.
Yeah. But yeah.
North.
Let me just take a minute to say happy 4th of July, everyone. Happy birthday, America. 248 years old now. Awesome.
She old.
And I will be celebrating to the full extent of my freedom tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. What do you have any plans, Jericho? We're going to be hitting the beach, barbecuing, doing awesome stuff. Just a really good time. What are you going to do?
Not the beach, because I live inland where all of your produce comes from. But we have a friend who got a pool at their house. So I just went with my son, and we bought a bunch of fireworks, smoke balls, and all kinds of other shit. As crazy as it can get with the stupid California rules on fireworks. But yeah, I bought a bunch of fireworks. I'm gonna smoke a couple tri-tips, bring some potato salad. Everybody's kind of like a potluck kind of thing. So yeah, we're gonna get together, have a good time, eat some good food, and blow some shit up as you're supposed to do on
awesome
birthday.
Now, I always hated tri-tip because I didn't know about it, and I heard and tri-tip is such a San Diego thing, such a California thing. Tri-tip is one of the best tasting pieces of meat. It has such intense beef flavor. It's very flavorful.
Yeah, it's called something else other places, like a loin.
Yeah, it's a tough ass piece of meat, but if you braise it correctly, cut strips on the slices on the bias, it's ridiculous, dude.
Yep.
It's ridiculous if you cook it right. If you mess around, it's like a shoe leather. It's bad, but it has intense beef flavor. Tri-tip.
Yeah, if you cook it too fast.
Very popular in California, tri-tip. Very popular.
Yeah, if you cook it too fast, it's going to be super tough. I've never had tri-tip anywhere else other than California. This is the only place that they call it tri-tip. But yeah, I got a smoker. I'm going to smoke a couple of them. It's going to turn out perfect.
So guys, I'll just play this to tell you what happened. But I have a party Wednesday, July 24th at 7 p.m. at Basic Bar Pizza, San Diego Comic-Con, the event of the year for my business, writing and drawing comic books. My hometown, right in my backyard. It is the biggest comic book convention in the world. It really is. And I'm so proud. It's a home game for me. And my good friend owns a bunch of restaurants in town, and he's always let me use his restaurants to have awesome Comic-Con parties. So if you go to bigmancomics.com before today and you went yesterday, you could have got a ticket to come to this. The tickets were free. Come and hang out, meet me and these other great YouTubers and stuff. And there's going to be prizes. Tickets are sold out as of now. But I'm going to look into the, the fire marshal has their limit of how many people are allowed in the building. And I intentionally put less on the website because I wanted to get a head count of friends and family and stuff like that. But I'm going to take a good look. And if there's any extra, I'm going to make announcements on social media. So if you're not following me, you're not subscribed, now's the time to do it if you want to get to this party. Because I've had people email me and ask me, hey, are there any tickets left? And as of now, the answer is no. But I'm going to make a good faith effort to see. Maybe there's 5 more. Maybe there's 10 more. Maybe there's no more. I don't know. But I'm going to see if there's any more tickets. And then I'll do something fun to maybe give those away or something like that. And you know what I mean? So, yeah, we have that going. It's going to be an awesome night. That is a Wednesday, so there'll be no double impact 3 weeks from tonight. But we'll live stream from there too. You know, we'll pull out the phones and live stream so you guys can join us via YouTube and see the party as it goes down. But Basic is a gorgeous venue, and it's really, really a lot of fun. You've been there once before, Jericho. You enjoyed the hell out of it, right?
Yeah, it was great, man. And we went live. We were in Vegas a couple times too, so
Right.
that shit was fun.
Right. Let's see. Real quick, I'll just show you guys this. Okay, that's it there. Hold on. I'm going to pull out some pictures of Basic just so you can see it real quick. Open with preview. So this is like 3-4 blocks from the San Diego Comic-Con, and San Diego is famous. The city blocks are small in San Diego. So this is the outdoor seating they built, you know, after the lockdown. It's a big place too. This is one side of the restaurant. There's a whole other side with lots of tables. It's got those big garage doors. It used to be an industrial building like 100 years ago. And it's awesome. These giant fans on the ceiling. It's a really fun place. Turns into a dance club at night. And my buddy owns it, and he lets me use it for my parties during Comic-Con. So, which, if you know anything about conventions, renting out a restaurant is tens of thousands of dollars for the night. So thank you, John Mangini and Eric, the great owners of this restaurant. Family friends. I've known them for like 16 years for letting me use this place. But the pizza, guys. This is New Haven, Connecticut style pizza. Ridiculous. Thin, crispy, a little black charcoal on it. And he has one. This is it right here. Jericho. Mashed potato, bacon, and onion with a white sauce. Get out of here. It's so good.
Oh,
I
like red sauce and mashed potatoes and bacon. No. Get your ass over there. Get a slice of that pizza in your fucking mouth.
It's ridiculous.
It is unbelievable.
Some of the best pizza I've ever had. And of course, they have all the regular stuff. You want meatball, you want clams because you're East Coaster, you want pepperoni, whatever. It's an awesome place, an awesome vibe, and just a fun night to celebrate Comic-Con, pop culture. And it's my 46th birthday. So I'll be the big birthday boy that night. So if I release any more tickets, you got to follow me on social media to find out. Guys, hit the like. Make sure you're subscribed to this. YouTube messes around when we go live, and they take off a sub or two usually. They punish you for doing live streams. Jericho, anything you want to promote? We're going to get out of here.
Follow me on X at @green_Jericho. Keep checking out my videos on YouTube. If you haven't yet, follow me on Instagram at JG Talk.
Okay, I'm in a Mel Gibson movie. Maybe we'll start doing some Mel Gibson movies this month. I don't know. You know?
Why not? He's got some good ones.
Yeah, one of the greatest ever. Apocalypto, Braveheart, ridiculous.
Yeah, Patriot.
Right. Okay, ending on the food segment. LMAO, love y'all. Hey, love you guys. It's awesome. Have a great and safe 4th of July. And if you're not American, you're still free to admire and love us from afar. We will accept it.
All right,
guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.